One of the joys on Astarte farm is working with the wide variety of seed sizes, shapes, and colors that produce all the different varieties we grow every year. Ellen and Amelia are seeding beets, but the seeds are actually dried fruitlets that will produce 3 to 5 plants apiece, all from one so-called seed. After a month or so in the propagation house, they're ready to be transplanted into one of the high tunnels. We had to decide whether it was wise to tear apart the root balls so that each beet has plenty of room to grow, or whether that would damage their roots at this critical stage of their growth. One strategy contemplated was to plant them out in clumps and then thin them out to sell first as baby beet greens and then as baby beets. Meanwhile, out on the western edge of the field, the winter rye is beginning its spring growth. Its weed-suppressing abilities will be tested in the coming months as the ground continues to warm, but for now it is a section of the field that is fully alive and rapidly initiating the biological activity that enables no-till systems to work. A little further up the field, the overwintered spinach has fully awoken from its long rest, and with any luck we may see our first harvest from it in a few weeks. And look, up in the sky, one member of our faithful rodent patrol has begun their relentless pursuit of any furry, four-legged predators that may be scurrying about in the margins of our field. The garlic has begun to poke its leaves up through the thick straw mulch that was laid down back in October. Most of the garlic straw mulch came from round bales that were rolled out onto those beds right after planting. We may need to do a little patching as the season progresses, but the coverage looks really good right now. What's Ellen so happy about? It's warm enough to work in the soil without a coat and gloves, and the smell of the damp earth is positively intoxicating. The straw from last year's eggplant patch has been raked back, and although a quick 2-week treatment with a silage tarp has not killed all the grass, she is still excited to be planting out in the open field. Sadie is holding a long torpedo grass root. The trick is to get it all out in one long, steady pull, because any pieces left in the ground would like to make a lawn again. The first Friday in April, we had a great group of volunteers come out to help plant the shallots. The beds had been prepped over last winter with occultation strips, and then a thin layer of compost was laid down. Paper mulch was rolled out and simultaneously covered with damp wood chips to keep it from blowing away. The paper mulch had been pre-punched with X cuts in 3 rows 7 inches apart. The actual planting process began with selecting the best bulbs to plant, and then separating them into individual cloves when possible. The north wind was blowing on this early April day, and we were lucky to get such a big crew so that we could get the job done quickly. Thank you, Theo, for gathering such a nice group. The final step in the process was to cover the paper with another layer of compost. In our windy location, we found that even with a thick layer of wood chips holding down the edges of the paper, any exposed paper can lift and tear. The paper gives us about 6 to 8 weeks of almost 100% weed-free growing before it begins to break down. Did you see our pest patrol and weed seed eating pals at work between the beds? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe or like, and we'll catch you the next time. Take it easy this spring.